What up, you nerds? Fallout here, and now that we're officially in the same month as the release of The Witch Queen, Bungie apparently dropped a brand new trailer previewing a bunch of new gear, new exotics, and weapon crafting. Just in case you automatically check out new vids on my channel, thank you if you're a regular by the way, I'm putting up old PvP filler footage right now, just in case you decide you want to back out now without getting spoiled. You still with me? Nosy little aren't you? Alright, well, let's dive in. First, we'll talk about the trailer, then we'll close out by playing the trailer in full. The first thing we're shown is a preview of the brand new weapon crafting system with the flavor text, "Craft your new arsenal." If the footage shown is any indication, it kind of looks like we're going to be in heavy control of what our weapons drop with. If you slow things down, it shows a Guardian going through a kind of spin wheel animation that first shows multiple weapon barrel options, i.e. full bore, fluted barrel, extended barrel, corkscrew, etc., spinning through options before ultimately deciding on arrowhead break. The camera then continues to pan down the weapon as the Guardian chooses the masterwork stat and other weapon perks as well. Finally, we see the fully crafted weapon, a rifle with the role of arrowhead break, accurized triple tap dragonfly with a ranged masterwork. I gotta be honest with you, if it really is that easy, I'd do a damn backflip. I'd imagine there has to be some kind of grinding players have to do in order to be able to craft a weapon so freely. Or maybe only certain types of new weapons like the one we're looking at in the trailer would be able to be crafted so easily. I can't imagine Bungie giving us complete free reign over literally all our perks like this without some kind of payment or drawback, but apparently, yeah. At least some weapons anyway, will give you full control over their drop options. On Bungie's website, they have a newly released press kit, which includes more images of the very large weapon crafting area. If I had to wager a guess, I'd imagine that we'll probably have to put a lot of work into completely unlocking everything in that weapon craft system. Kind of like how we've been doing with other unlockable, upgradable things in past seasons of content. Next, we move into the showcasing of a few new exotic weapons. First up, we have the Grand Overture, which the game refers to as a slug launcher. The design of the weapon from the first-person POV looks a lot like a machine gun, but the weapon seems to fire both slow, one-at-a-time shots and a total full-auto barrage of mini missiles. The perspective is kind of confusing, but it looks hella damaging for PvE. Note, the Grand Overture apparently does require the Season Pass for you to get. Next is the Parasite, a worm launcher that gains increasing damage. The one clip that we get to see really raises more questions than it answers. A Guardian yeets a tiny little hive worm into a crowd of dudes, resulting in a gigantic explosion. I'm betting that maybe the gains increasing damage factor may be kind of a perk like Full Court, where maybe the longer you yeet the worm, the more damage you get from the explosion. Apparently the Parasite will not require the Season Pass, at least that's what I'm assuming, because no text like that appeared under the gun, unlike with the Grand Overture. Next, we have the Osteostriga. Swarming projectiles trigger a toxic burst. From the footage, it looks like an SMG, which files projectiles, by the way, with travel time, noticeable travel time, i.e. not a hit scan weapon. The Guardian shoots a bunch of hive trash, and they all get infected to the point where they create a toxic explosion strong enough to kill the nearby wizard, who was not directly shot at all. So kind of a PvE crowd control gun, which depending on the power of the toxic explosion, does look pretty good for big area damage. Now we move on to Glaives. Apparently there's a unique exotic option for the Titan, the Warlock, and the Hunter. The Titan exotic glaive is called Edge of Action, which literally has the ability to fire mini Titan bubbles onto the battlefield to protect your teammates. The mini bubble probably has some kind of firing requirement. I don't think you'd be able to fire bubbles left and right with no penalty. Maybe that's like the heavy attack function, like a sword, which then takes a while to recharge. Or maybe you need to get a certain amount of kills with the glaive before getting the option to protect, or something else entirely. The Titan exotic glaive also appears to be void. The exotic Warlock glaive is called Edge of Intent and looks to be solar. Edge of Intent has the ability to drop healing turrets on the battlefield, kind of like a Lunafaction boot type situation. Again, unsure of what the trigger requirements are for that heal turret. The exotic Hunter glaive is called the Edge of Concurrence, which looks way more suited for crowd control because you get tracking chain lightning. It almost looks like the Middle Tree Arcstrider melee ability, but again, the Edge of Concurrence both tracks and has a chain lightning effect. Really badass looking overall, and naturally the Hunter Glaive appears to be Arc. Now for a little exotic armor, the Titans have something called the Hoarfrost Z chest exotic, which lets the Titan replace their barricade with a stasis wall near identical to a glacier nade. The only real difference, it seems, is that the centermost crystal seems to be dipped down a little bit more, so the Titan can actually shoot enemies through a little window. I know stasis has gotten nerfed a bunch of times, but there could be a lot of team play potential with that exotic. Remember that fragments like Whisper of Chains can give you incoming damage reduction in PvP, and you could combine that with a lot of other things to potentially be really annoying. The previewed Warlock exotic is the Osmiomancy Gloves. You get an additional Cold Snap grenade with enhanced seeking. This one might worry me a little bit depending on how good the beefed up Seeking is. I know right now Stasis has kinda cooled off in PvP, with most people not even touching cold snaps because they're easy to dodge. This gauntlet does let you use 2 of them, and with hotter tracking overall. Could be a problem, but then again, cold snap frozen duration isn't as wild as it used to be. Could be a cracked great top tier exotic, could be not a big deal. The Hunter exotic is the Blight Ranger helmet, which makes reflected projectiles deal more damage. Gotta admit, the initial gut reaction is that the hunters are getting the short end of the stick here. Usually if I see a twirly hunter coming my way, I just instinctively know to not shoot or damage or throw things at them because nothing's gonna get through anyway. Maybe there is potential here that I just haven't thought of yet, entirely possible. More on that later, but I'm definitely way more excited about the Warlock and Titan exotics right now. Apparently pre-ordering the deluxe edition of the game gets you access to the Osteostriga exotic right away, and even though it's not a new exotic, at least I don't think it is, if you watch the Warlock's POV, you'll see a new hand cannon that I think has the Iron Banner insignia on the side. So hey, hopefully a new legendary Iron Banner hand cannon that we might actually care about using. Sorry, Finite Compactor. And there you go, the whole trailer in a nutshell. I can only imagine that as we get closer to the Witch Queen, we'll get more trailers like these. We even know for sure that on Thursday, we will be getting a weapon-focused TWAB. Quick reminder that every Thursday I do a live TWAB waiting room. That's this week at Bungie on Twitch, which a ton of people show up for. Hope to see you there this Thursday. Let me know down in the comments section what your thoughts are on the new exotics and the new weapon crafting system, and swing by the live stream. I will be streaming today for sure to let me know what you think. I'm now going to let the whole trailer run in full so you can check the whole thing if you haven't watched it yet. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
What is the relic on Mars? The power to create your own weapons.